Yeah, it's incredible when I think about it that that's been 7, nearly 8 years now. The reason I left was I'd just done everything I could possibly do. It wasn't really anything more I could do with the place. It just wasn't really what it was anymore. So it seemed like a good time to leave. Just at my 30th birthday, so I just had one last party, did the last few films, last few projects, got them finished, and I left. So yeah, we've done action, crime, science fiction, comedy, all kinds of stuff before. One thing we've never really done was a spy film. The plot involves dodgy organisations within the British government that are interfering in our political process and with other countries, in this case Spain, and the agent who's sent to recover evidence of this. I would rather anyone else played this part. The reason I did it myself was because I was the only person who was going to be in all of the locations, and I know I'm going to turn up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of my own acting. I'd much rather anyone else did it, but the chances now of me finding someone who could do the whole thing and turn up every time, I'd still be making this film in 5 years from now. I think sometimes it's best to just do something where you can mostly you only have to rely on yourself. You don't have to wait for other people. That's one of the reasons why I've been concentrating on writing for the last few years, to tell you the truth. So it touches on all the worries people have if they're paying attention about Britain's withdrawal from the European Union, the dodgy donors, the Cambridge Analytica information sale, that sort of thing. You've got the vulture capitalism, very, very dodgy groups that claim to be charities, the Institute for Statecraft, the Integrity Initiative, things like that. I'd say it's completely plausible. Depressingly enough, the stories we see all the time in the Panama Papers, we've got a government and have had for nearly a decade now that's one half incompetent and one half corrupt. There's a bit of crossover too, but they're not the people you want to be running the country at such a crucial time. Well, the term occasional to describe a part-time, only occasionally used operative, I think comes from John McCarrick, but as with a lot of his terminology, it's actually been adopted over the 50 plus years of his writing by the real intelligence services. I did actually apply for SIS about 2 years ago. They were doing all those advertising campaigns, where they were saying there's not actually a type, you can be from any walk of life. So I thought I'd give that a go. Obviously, never heard from them, or I wouldn't be talking about it, would I? Of course, they say there's not a type, but the one thing they all do is you have to have been to university. It doesn't matter what your degree is actually in, you just have to have been. It was the same thing more recently as well. I'd also considered, I didn't apply this time because I knew what would happen, but I'd also considered working for the BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, and ideal background, film, education, but yeah, it was that same thing. You have to have been to university. This is our first international co-production, which is just coincidental. Fortunately, I was going to Spain anyway. It's not quite as impressive as that sounds. Well, the equipment we needed to make films 14, 15 years ago, when I started out, the camera, the software, everything else, DV tapes in those days, I think the initial outlay was over £1,000. This film came about just because I was thinking, what would it cost to buy all the same stuff now? With a decade and a half of technological advancements and all the rest of it. I was mainly buying it for my students, just put it all on expenses of the day job, so they could start with some video editing. And the cost now for everything we paid well over £1,000 for 15 years ago was less than £100. So I thought over the summer, before the next academic year starts, I'm just going to get a bit of practice in. I'm going to make a film myself with this gear before I give it away. Yeah, Ali has never been in a film before, but he should have been. He should be on a stage or doing something, because he's certainly one of the most entertaining people I know. So yeah, I've been thinking of getting him a part in something for a while. Carolina was in Hurricane, that's what it was called. In England it's got a few different titles for foreign markets, but it was the World War II film last year, or the year before, about the Polish pilots that flew with the RAF in the Second World War. So it's a bit like the old days, we just use good stuff that we have around, like if there are props that are useful, a car that looks good on camera, you just put them in the film. So that's why I went forward this one, just stuff I've got around, put it all in the film. I'd say this one's probably most similar to the mover, and Beneath the Ice. It kind of fits into that world. It's kind of like the third part of that. If the mover was a smuggling aspect and Beneath the Ice was the assassination aspect, then this is the espionage aspect. Then this is the espionage aspect. Getting the last 5 Freefall short films made in 2011, 2012 took over a year. It was the equivalent of doing another feature film. It was 5 10-minute thereabouts short film, and it took an extremely long time to get people together on the same day and to get things finished. And I really don't miss organising that. Yeah, I enjoyed the last film I did. The last one, we were shooting a lot of stuff simultaneously, but the last thing that was finished was Beneath the Ice. That was the last bit of shooting, and that was early 2012. So yeah, quite a while back now. And yeah, over the years of living here, it's certainly crossed my mind doing another self-produced, low-budget film. I was thinking of maybe doing one here, maybe going back briefly to Bournemouth to do one. On and off, it's always kind of been there, but usually I've managed to sort myself into it and then out of it again. But it was probably inevitable. I think the only reason it hasn't happened until now is because I was too busy writing, which is what I moved here to do. I moved here to concentrate on screenwriting. Last year I finally completed several scripts I've been working on for years. Of course, moving somewhere to get away from old time-wasting habits doesn't always work, because you find all kinds of new new trouble to get into wherever you move to. So still took a while. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Finally completing all those scripts is like a massive weight lifted off me, because some of them have been in the works for over 10 years. For a while it looked like something was maybe happening with a couple of them, but I've not heard anything for a very long time. At this point I'm just glad to have them finished, to have them sent out. If they're ever produced, great. If not, I'm just proud to have finished them, to have them done. I mean, possibly, as I was saying about SIS and BBFC, possibly trying to get proper big budget films made by sending scripts to Hollywood or wherever as an independent unknown writer. A lot of people would say that's just as much of a closed shop. You've got no chance, but it's still worth a try, I think, and it's just good to get it all out. There's a great quote from Henry Rollins when he stopped touring, and he said, it took me 25 years or whatever it was, but I finally got all the music out of me. But I never enjoyed being in a band. I never enjoyed recording, never enjoyed touring. I just needed to get it out of myself, and that's how long it took. I don't miss it. I mean, it's the same with this film. This has mainly been done as an experiment, or just out of, boredom, I suppose. So, yeah, I don't expect it to do anything or get noticed or anything like that. I mean, at this point, we're just doing it for ourselves. But like I was saying about the scripts that I got finished, it's just good to leave something. I think the worst thing anyone can do is live without leaving any evidence that they were alive. To just to have no legacy. I mean, however minor it is, and even if it's never gets any attention and is ignored forever. At least you made the effort,